This is Universal Studios. You're in Hollywood now.
We got the clearance to leave. That's what we'll do. Wave goodbye to the folks on the left. We are out of here. As we depart, we're going to start off with a few safety rules. So first, if you need guest assistance or if you have a medical emergency, you drop something of value off the side of the tram or you notice any audio or video issues, reach up and grab the red cord that runs along the center of the tram ceiling. I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, and if at any time during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Also, please, no smoking of any kind on the tour, and be prepared. Our tour today does feature loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. So you want to have your cell phones and cameras out for great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Finally, for your safety and those around you while on board the tour, we ask that you do not use selfie sticks. With the safety rules out of the way, I'm going to turn things over to the first special celebrity guest on the tour today. He is our MC and also happens to be the host of The Tonight Show. It is Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking. Why the tux? Well, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. That's right, 60 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we'll pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. So how did we get involved in the tour game? Well, on March 15th, 1915, our founder Carl Laemmle invited the public into the studio to watch silent movies being made. Guests could walk from set to set and marvel at the new technology involved in filming. But with the invention of sound and the need for quiet on the set, the original walking tour ended. In the 1960s, under the leadership of company chairman Lou Wasserman and executives Al Dorskin and Jay Stein, the idea of reviving a tour of the studio returned. When the Gray Line bus tours, originating in Hollywood, made a stop outside our gates. So on July 15, 1964, the first of our red and white candy-striped Glamour Trams took 67 passengers on a 2-hour driving tour of the Universal lot, and the world-famous studio tour was born. We started with just 2 drivers, 2 guides, and 1 ticket seller working out of a trailer on Lancashire Boulevard. From there, the studio tour expanded, fantastic one-of-a-kind hollow elements, like the rock slide and the burning house, which were in this area of the lot back in the 1970s and 80s. As we make our way down the hill here, you see we have some construction going on for upcoming Fast and Furious roller coaster. Also passing by sections of the Universal timeline. See a lot of the great films that Universal has produced throughout the years. Also coming up, we're going to be passing by the first of our sound stages, stage 12. It is actually our oldest and largest sound stage. It's been used by numerous productions throughout the years. As we pass by, we'll take a look at a few of them. Yes, a lot of history inside of stage 12. We reached the end of the timeline. The last poster in the timeline is for our most recent Best Picture Academy Award winner, Oppenheimer, starring Cillian Murphy. And it is at this point that we officially enter the front lot. We kind of start off traveling between the front lot and the theme park. Because on our right, we're passing along the backside of Super Nintendo World, home to Mario and Luigi, the stars of our biggest film of 2023, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Off to our left, passing by a few sound stages here. As we pass by these stages, we're going to turn things over to the next special celebrity guest on the tour today from our Peacock series Bel-Air, Jabari Banks and Ollie Sholatin.
We're leaving the theme park behind and entering the front lot where real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands. For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination could take you. Even to a palatial mansion in Bel-Air. When we film Bel-Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by. So, keep an eye out. You never know who. Or what? You'll see in the studio tour.
Good advice, Jabari and Holly. Speaking of Bel-Air, one of the stages that they use is on our left here, stage 14. It is one of our larger front lot sound stages. Stage 14, though, was not always stage 14. From time to time, the stages do get renumbered. Stage 14 was actually originally stage 27, then it became stage 21, and, well, now it is stage 14. Back in 1995, that stage housed Mission Control for Apollo 13, directed by Ron Howard and starring Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, Kevin Bacon, and Bill Paxton.
Realism was an essential element for Apollo 13. After all, we were recreating an important moment in American history, a moment many Americans witnessed on television. We thought about filming in Houston, Texas, where the original control room for the Apollo missions still exists. Unfortunately, NASA engineers didn't have filmmaking in mind when they built Mission Control. Since there was no room for the elaborate camera cranes and tracks we needed for the shots, we had to build our own Mission Control. Everything had to be exact, even down to the tiniest detail.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Coming up on our right, you're going to want to wave hello to a couple of the minions. Having a little morning fun. What they bring the Illumination entertainment sign. At least they thought enough to wish us happy 60th anniversary in their toilet papering. But the minions, not the only crazy characters in this neck of the woods. We also have Ted, who's coming up on the left. He's enjoying a nice morning beer, probably in celebration of his series on Peacock. He thought enough to make us a sign to wish us happy 60th. Now, as we pass by Ted, we're also going to be passing by some bungalows. Here to tell you about those is the founder and CEO of Illumination, Chris Meledandri.
In the early days of the studio, these bungalows were used as dressing rooms to the stars of Hollywood's golden age. Now, they're used as offices where some of Hollywood's top directors, writers, and producers work their magic to get a production ready, including my company, Illumination. At Illumination, we've made some of the most successful animated films in box office history, including Despicable Me, The Lorax, The Secret Life of Pets, Minions, Sing, The Grinch, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. And the team is hard at work again as we launch our next film, Despicable Me 4.
Hello, everybody. There's my boy. I know you love your dada. Go on, say it.
Yes, of course he loves you. He just doesn't show it on his face or with his body language.
We've had some really good sequences in Despicable Me movies. The heist of the Honey Badger is now officially my favorite. What it comes down to is the emotional through line, and I believe that that's why these movies have stayed in people's hearts.
All right, thank you, Chris Meledandri. On our left, we're passing by the last two of our front lot sound stages, 25 and 26. Stage 25, currently home to the series Lopez versus Lopez, starring George Lopez, also his daughter Mayan Lopez. Next door on stage 26, a new show called St. Denis Medical. It stars David Allen Greer, Wendy McClendon-Covey. But as we pass by these stages, we're going to be crossing over into the back lot. This is where we shoot the big stuff, big exterior shots on a very large scale. Stuff we normally couldn't do in a sound stage due to the size constraints. First up, we'll take a little spin into the metropolitan area, which we use to portray major cities like London, Chicago, New York, or San Francisco. A lot of the structures in this area are what we call facades. False front. We just build the fronts and sides, only what the camera needs to see. Our imagination will actually fill in the rest. Now on our right, we're going to be coming into a bit of a clearing. You will see the entrance, the St. Denis Regional Medical Center for the series. There to the right, they're doing a little work up there. So on this road, it is going to be taking us to Courthouse Square, best known as Hill Valley, from the Back to the Future films with Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, and Lia Thompson starring. Before we get in there officially, I'm going to bring up the writer-producer of the Back to the Future films, Bob Gale, along with one of its stars, Lia Thompson.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films.
And they represented multiple time periods, 1985, 1955, the far, far distant future, 2015. To this day, this is one of the most popular sets on Universal Studios.
And hey,
We had a lot of fun.
talk about good timing. We got a time machine and Doc Brown. Hiya, Doc.
Welcome to Courthouse Square. This is home to Back to the Future. I'm Dr. Emmett Brown, and this is my DeLorean. This is what makes time travel possible. At 88 miles per hour and 1.21 gigawatts, we were able to send Marty McFly back to the future. Now it's your turn. Are you ready to time travel? Yeah. Oh, come on. Are you ready to time travel? Yeah. Remember, at 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious you-know-what. Because where you're going, you don't need roads. I'll see you in the future.
All right, thank you, Doc.
Have a great day.
We'll make our exit from Courthouse. We're going to come out onto what I like to call Main Street in the Metro sets, but it's officially known as New York Street. It's the main thoroughfare that runs through the middle of the Metro area. And it was in this general area of the metropolitan sets we once had one of our classic backlot attractions. Here to tell you about it from our 2005 version of King Kong, Jack Black.
Self-action. Did you know the Metro sets were once the home to Hollywood's biggest star? Right here is where the original studio tour King Kong attraction resided from 1986 until 2008. He stood 30 feet tall and weighed in at 13,000 pounds. Over the years, millions of guests got to meet King Kong face to face as he shook the tram. So close you could feel his hot banana breath.
Well, that is true. He did have banana breath.
Is that it? Can't believe that's my last line, and then Tram moves on to the next thing?
Yes, Mr. Black, that's pretty much how that works. Thank you. Some of the more recent productions shot here include of the series, and Ricky Hudson. Also our Peacock series, Bel-Air. Every once in a while, American Ninja Warrior will come through. They'll set up their obstacle course down through New York Street. Metro sets have also been used for our Peacock series, Ted. In fact, you're going to see a number of areas.
Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane here, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at my Peacock original...
Like that's Courthouse Square. We just saw Doc a few moments ago.
...series, Ted. It's a prequel series set in 1993. And that means our skilled craftspeople had to build a high school, a house, and even recreate downtown Boston as it looked back in the day, using exterior sets and...
This is all along New York Street here.
...that you're about to see on the tour. But I should warn you, Ted is intended for mature audiences only. So grown-ups, tell the kids to go in the other room before you watch. Oh, come on!
And also, as we travel down New York Street, you might have noticed that it had some curvature to it. New York Street is built on what is called the banana curve. So that way, when you're looking down New York Street, pointing a camera down New York Street, it looks like it's a lot longer than it actually is. Looks like it just kind of keeps on going forever. So we'll make our exit for now from the metropolitan sets. We'll continue up into the hills here. And coming up on our right, we're going to be passing by the collapsing bridge and the runaway train. The collapsing bridge was a mechanical effect that the trams used to cross. The hydraulic support beams would split and the bridge would seem to collapse. Now, the runaway train was originally located in our western sets. Used to hurtle toward the tram but come to a screeching halt. Now, both of these are retired effects made for the studio tour 50 years ago. So, as of late, we've kind of combined those two old actions so you can see them on the tour. And since he does live nice and close, this actually works out very well that we stop off and see our newer 3D version of King Kong. In fact, let me introduce you to the man who brought Mr. Kong to us on the backlot in 2010, Academy Award winner, Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. Action! I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters,
and the road through Skull Island does get a bit rough, so just a reminder to remain seated, hang on. You definitely want to hang on to all your personal belongings, all your Harry Potter wands, iPhones, Mario and Luigi hats, all that kind of good stuff. Hold on tight. I think Mr. Kong is ready for us, and we're on the way to Skull Island. He puts on a good show. King Kong 360 3D. Hold on to your 3D glasses. We need those one more time near the very end of the tour. But right now on your screens, look behind the scenes, King Kong 360 3D. With a Final Break Studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking at all directions, there's creatures coming at them, you're seeing Kong from this side, and the T-Rexes from the other side. On a movie, we always know where people are looking. They're looking straight ahead, they're looking at the shot that we're working on. Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions. Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cut. Because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
As we make our exit from the area, we kind of dip back through the Metropolitan sets. A little earlier, Jack Black was talking about the old mechanical version of King Kong, and it used to be here on the left, where this church-like structure is, along with this little side yard. Yeah, there used to be a soundstage that was there, kind of hidden amongst the Metropolitan sets, and that is where the old mechanical version of King Kong used to reside. Also, as we roll along here up to our right, passing by a big flat surface with a mural painted on the front of it. Need to change the look of it, change locations. We simply give it a paint job, and voila, we're someplace new. I like how some of those doorways are painted on, yet others real working doors. You just walk right through to the other side. And speaking of murals, we got another one coming up on our right, featuring our famous Universal movie monsters. This was done back in 2018 by a gentleman named Tristan Eaton, who's a Los Angeles native. He does have murals in a number of cities around the world. But here's the fun part. This is what I like. Mr. Eaton did this mural freehand with spray paint. The guy is amazing, and hopefully at some point he'll come back and do another mural for us. I guess we'll kind of see what happens. Also, as we roll along here on our left, we're going to be passing by some of our newer Backlot Soundstages, stages 30 and 31 in particular here on the left. That is where The Voice currently calls home. Also coming up on our left, we're going to be passing by a small body of water that has a big name. This little body of water coming up on the left is the Hollywood Ocean. And here, back in 1974, we had the Parting of the Red Sea to the studio tour by the classic film, The Ten Commandments. It was a Paramount film. The star of the movie, Charlton Heston, made an appearance on the opening day of the attraction to part the waters for our guests. The Glamour Trams seem to drop right to the lake and give everyone on board a sea-level view. Over the years, there have also been exploding water mines, torpedoes, and prop aquariums, part of the action on the lake. And I do also want to mention that the Hollywood Ocean was used to shoot a few scenes for one of our classic monster movies, Creature from the Black Lagoon, which celebrates its 70th anniversary this year. And sometimes when we're out here and passing by the Hollywood Ocean, we'll also see that ducks and geese have taken up residence from time to time, going to stop off on the backlot occasionally. And on the Universal Backlot, the world is more or less right around the corner. That's how we like it. It's pretty convenient that way. Coming up ahead of us is our European sets, affectionately known as Little Europe. Not too long ago, Little Europe was used extensively for The Good Place. Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. In fact, one of their signs is still up there on the right. We do have access to Little Europe on today's tour, so we'll come in for a closer look. We're actually going to kind of wind our way from the middle of it here. And as we do that, we'll see how it was used for The Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Come on. This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this.
You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
And I'm actually going to pause it right about there because the yogurt shop that you see on your screens, we're going to be cutting off to the right, but on our left is that yogurt shop, pretty much decked out just how it was for the series. We should look at the time. We could all stop off for yogurt. Yogurt, I don't know, for some reason it sounds tasty at the moment, but anyway.
Bad place?
Maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Yes, they had a good time at the Good Place. Also note about Little Europe, it is where a lot of our famous movie monsters got their big breaks in the 1930s and 40s. Guys like Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman, and Dracula prowled the streets of Little Europe in our movie monster heyday.
Wolfman, well, I didn't like it. The Mummy, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera. Classic films. They're just brilliantly made. That Frankenstein image, flathead, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the Universal horror film. I was just mesmerized by the
Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney. I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
Yes, indeed we do. And one thing those early monster movies often featured, other than, of course, the monsters, was usually a group of angry villagers out to bring the beast to justice. Frankenstein's monster in particular had to deal with that quite a bit.
Raise all the men you can, lock them in indoors, and wait for me. I'm ready!
So yeah, there they go, the torches, the pitchforks, they even got the dogs out. Also, as we have exited Little Europe off to the left, the lovely California ranch-style home. For a long time, that was part of the setup of the Hallmark Channel show Home and Family. A little more recently, it's been used by our Peacock series, Bel-Air. Also, as we pass the ranch house, we're coming out onto Denver Street, which is one of our two Western sets on the Universal back. But you're going to notice, well, there's not a lot left of Denver Street anymore. Little by little, its Western sets have been whittled away, and now a lot of the street is used for exciting things like parking and storage. But the driver Brianna just said this is the new boneyard. It's turned into a storage spot of sorts. In fact, just off to the right, this is the last little bit of the western area on Denver Street. We do have two western sets. We're going to be traveling to the next one a little bit later. But for right now, we make our way onto Steven Spielberg Drive. She's going to be taking us up to beautiful Amity Island. Don't worry, they finally captured the pesky shark that was causing all the trouble. Added measure of protection, they've dispatched Officer George of the Amity PD dive team into the water to make sure things are safe so we can go for a nice, refreshing midday swim. Looks like there might be a little location scouting going on out here. Yeah, George, how are you doing down there, buddy? Where are you? George, yeah, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's some big trouble heading your way. Where are you? There you are. Big trouble in your 11 o'clock, George. He's coming right for you. Get out of there, buddy. No, this is not going to end well. Oh, that's disgusting. All right, well, we lost Officer George. I think it just became a George kebab. All right, well, they want us to clear the area. I guess we'll pull down here behind the dock. It should be a little safer. Now, they have some bait attached to that yellow barrel that's out there in the water, and hopefully the shark will take that and not one-shot us, so keep your eyes open. Okay, well, he's not going for the bait. He must have decided to chew on something else, whatever that is. Well, apparently it was a gas line, because now there's a fire. We're going to have to... Hey, wait a minute. Look out, coming up on the right. Okay, well, you just got up close and personal with Jaws. The Jaws attraction that we just experienced celebrated its 48th birthday back in April. It opened up April 10th of 1976. Of course, the film, a huge hit for us, the summer of 1975, did Universal hours that... Hey, we should have a Jaws attraction as part of the Backlot tour. And we are going to be traveling from one Backlot attraction to another. Here to say about the next one, the Today Show's Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first big attraction on the studio tour way back in 1960. Welcome to the only part of the Backlot with a 100% chance of rain. The flash flood.
All right, thank you, Al. Now, this area that we've entered is officially known as Old Mexico. It's been used in numerous productions throughout the years. Feature films like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Three Amigos, Fletch Lives, Nacho Libre. Also in TV shows like Amazing Stories, ER, Without a Trace. But today we're focusing on the weather. Pretty bright out, but you might have seen some occasional lightning flashes done with high-intensity flash bulbs. Hear a little thunder and audio effect done through speakers. And of course, here is your rain. Sprinklers high overhead shoot water up into the air. The water comes right back down, gives you the illusion of falling rain. So, no matter how many consecutive days of sunshine we might have here in Universal City, we can make a rain, a thunderstorm, whatever we want right here on the Backlot. And in the warm summer months like this, it's nice to come down here, get a refreshing shower, kind of cool off before the remainder of the tour. But we don't want to stick around too long. You might notice we're in a low light. Uh-oh. I wasn't kidding. It's flash flood time. Water gets close. Look out. And that is our flash flood on the Backlot. In 2002, using the film Big Fat Liar with Frankie Munoz, Amanda Bynes, and Paul Giamatti.
You can't hurt a wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yes, Paul Giamatti and his stuntman getting a little wet in the last part of that. Now across the border, so to speak, from old Mexico to one of our western sets. We're entering 6 Points, Texas. This is the second of our 2 western sets. One of our famous movie cowboys and most of it 6 Points one time or another. They're talking about guys like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Clint Eastwood, and Woody Strode. Now the area gets from 6 Points many, many years ago, like 100 years ago, in our silent filmmaking days. We could shoot 6 different movies in here at the same time. We could stress each street just like a different town. Each street had its own bank, its own sheriff's station, its own saloon, and its own hotel. While we're here, we'll take a look at a few of our famous Western stars. Over the last 5 or 6 years, the biggest production to have utilized 6 Points, the feature film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt starring. If you've seen the film, it's from the portion of the movie where Mr. DiCaprio's character, Rick Dalton, is guest starring on the television series Lancer. And we've kind of circled around a bit as we exit the Wild Wild West. We've come back out by the Hollywood Ocean. We're also going to circle back around onto Steven Spielberg Drive, which as we do that, I'm going to bring Mr. Spielberg via clip. He's going to talk about how he was involved in the creation of the Jaws attraction we traveled through just a bit earlier.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. Unfashioned the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
And thank you, Mr. Spielberg. As we climb this next hill, coming up on the right, a great big house called the Chicken Ranch. It's been used in many productions throughout the years. Of course, as we pass by, we'll take a look at a few of its credits. The Chicken Ranch, by the way, is a practical set, and that means it can be used for interior filming as well as exterior. It's not a facade structure, a false front, like we saw in the metro area. It's also not a facade structure like you'll see in its backyard. The backyard structure there is a leftover from a show called About a Boy, Minnie Driver. As we pass by the Chicken Ranch, off the left, little side street, the green cone in front of it, that is the entrance to Colonial Street. That's the residential street on the back lot. Colonial Street for 8 years was Wisteria Lane. It was home to the Desperate Housewives from ABC. Also coming up on the left, the Lion Estate signs. You might recall these from Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, and Lia Thompson starring. The Lion Estate signs were outside of Marty McFly's neighborhood in his hometown of Hill Valley. These are replicas of the original set pieces. The replicas here are built back in 2015 to help celebrate the 30th anniversary of the first Back to the Future film. And as we continue up the road here on Spielberg Drive, we're going to bring up Mr. Spielberg one more time. He's always got these great stories about how he got his start with this at Universal.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. It was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
And it is kind of fitting as we get toward the end of Spielberg Drive. We're going to make our way to the incredible crash site for Mr. Spielberg's 2005 version of War of the Worlds, which starred Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, Tim Robbins, and Justin Chatwin. And in case you're wondering, that is an actual 747 destroyed specifically for this incredible scene.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Spielberg had.
When you first began to sit down to talk about War of the World, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep nice on me. Listen down. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Stand close. Let me get in.
And as we make our exit from the War of the Worlds crash site, on the right, the very iconic Psycho house. You want to mother at the window. See her forth up there. She doesn't get out much, so apparently doesn't even moist. As we pass by Mother. Coming up on your right, our official replica of the Hollywood sign built in conjunction with the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. And if you want a picture with it, this is where you will have an opportunity to step onto the lot. And it is a limited stop for a limited time. So should you so desire, you can disembark from the tram for once-in-a-lifetime photo opportunities. You do want to make sure to take all of your belongings with you, including your 3D glasses, as when you're ready to continue with the tour, you'll be boarding a different tram with a brand new tour guide. Also, you might want to make sure to check out the Universal Cinematic AR filters. Just scan the QR codes found on the 60th anniversary signs for Jaws and King Kong, or visit the effects page on the Universal Studios Hollywood Instagram profile and create your own iconic Universal experience. Also, by the way, that is an actual Glamour Tram there from the 1960s. Here we go, on the road again. We're going to make our way back out onto Steven Spielberg Drive. The 6th anniversary version of the tour is Academy Award winner Jordan Peele.
I remember going to Universal Studios when I was 12 years old, feeling this feeling of wonder. You know, one of the first trips to Universal Studios, seeing the Jaws ride. One of my favorite movies of all time. Just feeling like, that's him. That's Jaws. Like, I don't even know if that is Jaws. I hope it is. Sharing a space with Hitchcock and Spielberg, I couldn't be more proud.
Let's go, baby! Let's go!
And it just kind of fitted in. Mr. Peele got us underway, because next up we're going to be taking you through Jupiter's Claim, the actual sets used in the production of Mr. Peele's most recent film. We'll take you right through the middle of this area, all up close and personal-like. Don't forget Mr. Peele one more time.
Movie magic only happens when a team collaborates, often in the hundreds, work to take the impossible and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Why?
A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience, built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Well, not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. Welcome to the world of Neo.
We will mosey on out of Jupiter's Claim. We're going to be heading to a section of the lot where we once had an attraction called the Doomed Glacier Expedition, but is better known as the Ice Tunnel. It was featured in an episode of the $6 Million Man with Lee Majors as Andre the Giant there, portraying Bigfoot. The tram would try and climb to an imaginary elevation of 12,000 feet. The only way back to the theme park is through the ice tunnel, where the slightest sound could trigger an avalanche. And it always did, causing the walls to spin and the guests to tilt, along with a Hollywood special effect. But that was then, and this is now, as you're making your way into Sullivan Truck Repair. Now, a little heads up here, things in Sullivan Truck Repair can get a bit fast and furious, if you know what I mean. Looks like in the first bay, we will have some cool vehicles to look at.
You in our secret spot.
Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep shopping finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull us to the next bay.
Alright, let's see what's going on in bay number 2. And well, looks like we're just in time for the party.
Everybody out! The FBI! The message is off!
This is what we doing. This is the race day after party. And where the other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Bill?
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Thanks. Just back up a little bit. I got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss. You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of the
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate. Shaw traced us. Ops can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door. Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Alright, like Roman said, it's going to get real interesting. So as we enter the parking garage, put put on your 3D glasses.
Over the past 6 decades, the studio tour has taken guests on an amazing behind-the-scenes look at a movie studio in a way that only Universal can. I hope that you had a great time today, and on behalf of everyone at NBC Universal, thank you for joining us to celebrate our diamond anniversary. Here's to another 60 years.
Thank you again, Jimmy. Now, our 60th anniversary is special to us because the studio tour is where it all began for Universal destinations and experiences. From 2 Glamour Trams traveling around the studio lot in the summer of 1964, we have developed into so much more, including 7 parks, entertaining millions of guests every year in the upcoming Universal Epic Universe, opening in 2025. I'd also like to acknowledge all of the studio tour ambassadors, drivers, and studio guides throughout our history of helping make the studio tour world famous. From our first 4 guides and drivers to the hundreds of team members who support the tour today. Now to our past members, thank you for joining us, but if you're not a past member, head to the Universal box office. There you can inquire about upgrading to an annual pass and come back and see us again and again. Also, I want to think about downloading the official Universal Studios Hollywood app. A lot of great information there. Check out park hours. We're open at 9, by the way. Playtime, food ordering, all kinds of information on the app. And here we go. Gonna make our way to the unload area as we just look around. Make sure you have all your personal belongings with you. Once we get stopped, the tour ambassadors of the guide. Watch your step. Go ahead and take pretty fast. Toss them into the bins on the way out. We would appreciate it. Thanks for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood. Again, we're open until 9. As we say in the biz, that is a wrap. We'll see you in the movies.